managing my type 2 diabetes.
Well, hello. Open Pagan Church, we are back with you. And Discord is unmuted. Looks like we got Nicole, we got Clint, we got Cindy, looks like we got Dave in chat. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. Alright, hope everything's coming through okay. We've had some internet problems off and on since Friday. Go figure. Alright. What is our topic today? Well, it should be plain on the screen. Why did you leave Christianity? Well, before everybody pops a cork, let's not just talk about why you may have left Christianity. Let's talk about if you're still with your family chosen religion. That could be atheism, that could be Christianity, it could be pagan. Did you decide to make the choice to stay with your family religion? Are you happy with your choices? Kind of like it says up in the description area. What belief system did you grow up in? Did you keep it? Did you change? Are you happy with your choices? So, what do you think? Why did you guys step away from or keep your family philosophy? Who's first?
All right, I'll go first. So I was raised Catholic by my great grandmother and my mother, and I like the ritual part of the whole Catholic Mass, but the reason why I stepped away was because looking at the world, they don't have the sort of open mindedness that I did. Um, I needed something to verify my views of society, which were generally, uh, as long as you're not hurting anybody, do what the heck you want to do. Uh, and Catholicism didn't jive with that, so that'd be a lot of why I did it.
Yeah, Catholicism does like to be a bit controlling. Um, Shout out to Dave this morning, goes through triple bypass surgery in the morning. Of course, our candles and thoughts are with you, sir. Um, Anybody else? What did you come up in, and why did you leave?
Oh boy. Well, I was raised Catholic and Methodist. Oxymoron there. And I stayed with it until after I was divorced, I guess. 23 years in Christian base with my ex-husband, and then something didn't mix right. And I met Don and kind of saw the views and the light, as you can call it.
Well, the thing, what caused you to step away from it? What was the defining moment, if you will?
It sounds funny, but my daughter.
Okay. Um, can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Sabrina was going through a rough time with all of us too, also. But then some of her friends told her about the religion, and she started going to them, and she told me about them. And then me and her kind of studied together about paganism and the Christian belief and all. We didn't agree on it. I mean, We didn't agree on the Christian base there, but the paganism or the spirituality part of it connected both of us. It opened up a whole new window.
Yeah, you always have to kind of look at all sides of the coin. When um, people come to me, it's much like anything else. When people contact me and they say, uh, "I want to become pagan," okay, poof, you're a pagan. Not really, but they think it's that simple.
But
And
it's not.
well, no, it's not, and most of them get, of course, society has programmed society that um, all pagans are Wicca, or all pagans are Wiccan, or all pagans are devil worshippers. Oh, oh, oh. We don't even believe in the devil. Get a little education going there. But the thing is, a lot of people, and it's interesting. Sometimes the younger generation, I've seen where they'll wear these great big inverted pentagrams, and they don't even know what the hell it means. They don't know where the inverted pentagram came from. So people get disillusioned with the daily beatdown and the Bible thumping in that. And then you have the hypocrites, the people that are Bible thumping, and you're not going to do this, and you're not going to wear makeup until you're 16, and you're not going to date till you're 16, and you're not going to do anything until you're 18, and even when you're 18, I'm still going to control your life, and the church is going to tell you what you can and can't do, and if you don't follow what the preacher tells you to, then you're going to go to hell. Yeah. Well, I mean, do we not in every case, but do we not find that other religious households, okay, um, Jewish households, depending on the parents or depending on the matriarch of the household, depending on how their open-mindedness is, if you will, whether or not their children are raised to accept and encompass all of the multitudes of thousands of religions around the world. I find that when you get into household religious dynamics, it can become real sticky real quick. It's much like household politics. I mean, I know for our particular dynamics in this household, most of us are relatively, we're aligned with our political views, but there's a boatload of them that are not. So when you're in a mixed household, like so many people are today in 2019, more and more kids have moved back in with parents, and brothers and sisters are moving in together to share cost. More and more people are coming up with a roommate situation excuse me, for your for your family politics, if you will. So it becomes a balancing act. And if we, Clint, Dave, did anybody else, good morning, Dave, anybody else have a story they want to share?
Well, with me, when I was growing up, like Cindy, Catholic Methodist, but once I left the house, I pretty much went south. I didn't believe really in anything compared to what it was. And then when I met Tammy, we tried the Baptist a little bit, and it just like nah, it didn't grab my heart. And then once we had to press down probably with you guys for Rita and Katrina, that's when everything started grabbing my heart, and then I knew what I was as a shaman.
Well, you talk about Hurricane Katrina and Rita. That was a very interesting time.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way life, the cosmos, spirit, God and Goddess, spirit guide, whatever you want to call it. It's interesting the way we are, kind of nudged one direction or the other, or we're pushed into down one road or the other, if you will, and we're forced to make some pretty interesting choices. And a number of times those choices are on the fly. It's kind of like I never really actually give any consideration to this. And then, like me, hell, I was a choir boy. I sang on the choir for about 4 years at one of the Southern Baptist churches down in Liberty. But I was what was known as a church hopper. Not a grasshopper, but a church hopper. I would spend about 3 to 6 months in this church, and I'd pop over to this church a bit. And I found myself typically trying to sit in the back queue closest to the door, so that if things went batshit crazy, I could just get up and go out the door. And there are some of them that do get a little crazy. I mean, all of our pagan circles we did, yeah, we get people that get filled with the energy, they get filled with the spirit, they're dancing to the drums, we're playing the drums. But I don't ever remember, out of all the years of doing circle, I don't ever remember somebody getting filled with the Holy Spirit and running down the aisles. Of course, we never had any aisles, did we? Everything we did was in a circle. I don't know. I did try it once, in all honesty. I thought, well, I was, what, 21? I thought, alright, let's see what it's about. So I went up, walked up to the aisle, me and all of my hair. And the preacher looked at me and he says, "You will be saved. You have demons within you." Okay. Do it. So he takes his Bible and he slaps his Bible up against my head. I wanted to hit him. Slaps his Bible up against my head and starts speaking in tongues. And, I went at it open-minded. I wanted to see what there was to it.
Yeah.
I looked at him. I looked at the guy standing one side of me and the woman standing the other side of me, and I said, "What's supposed to be happening?" Well, he screams at the top of his lungs, "We need to pray harder for this boy. He can't feel the Holy Spirit. He's not speaking in the tongues, and we got to pray for this boy." Well, by this point, I'm giggling. I mean, I've always found myself a relatively respectful person about other people's religions. But by the time this guy was through, he was all pink and purple and shit, and I thought he was gonna pop a cork. He was absolutely convinced the devil had entered his church. Well, by that time I was feeling a little bit mischievous, and I got up real close to him and I opened my eyes real big and I went, "Boo!" And the guy fell on the floor. I turned around and left. I was sitting out in my truck. I was laughing so damn hard I couldn't breathe. I mean, okay, for people that have felt it, whatever it is, okay. I mean, I've felt the spirit move me when I've been playing drums. I've been moved by spirit guides when doing the fire dance. Okay, great. Maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. But that kind of started the downfall for me. And of course, when I got with the mother of the children in 92, 91, 92, something like that. And, the kids started going to the church. The kids started going to the church up the road, and I kind of got involved. All right, well, if the kids are going to go, I'm absolutely going to go down there and make sure they're not filling their heads full of shite. Well, there was a couple of Sunday school teachers that did. They always do, they always will, and they always have. And one of the people standing next to me one day while I was singing one of the hymns, and they requested that was back when I had a voice. Don't have much one anymore. Of course, I don't have my teeth. Anybody ever tried singing without teeth? That's a bitch. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. Anyway, long story short, it was a couple of years. I had already told a couple of Sunday school teachers, look, you need to back off of teaching these people discrimination. You need to back off of teaching these people about things for which you know nothing about. And yes, my allergies are absolutely kicking my butt this morning. So, over the course of time, I left the church about 97, 98, and I started on a search to figure out what the hell I am as far as my religious philosophies go. And during that period of time was during the first big explosion of the internet. Well, of course, I had my own computer business at that time, so I was on the internet. Y'all go ahead.
Good, you're trying to talk, I can't hear you.
Yeah, the only thing we're getting, Dave, is feedback. We're getting beat, but that's it. Alright, while Dave's trying to get his headset or his mic to go in there. So I mean, at the end of the day, we all go through the things that make the changes in us the most, if you will. And the one thing you learn more than anything else in the world, once you get into spiritual counseling, once you get into a ministry of whatever religion you're going to be in, and you really start to listen to people and what brings them forward and what they're looking for, which way they're wanting to go, what they're wanting to do, what people want, right? You become very astute about body language. You become very aware of the thing that a person didn't say, right? So much of the things that people say, bless his heart, he's trying, but ain't nothing coming out. Dave, we can see you keying your mic, sir, but all we're getting is feedback. You know, just a technical recommendation. If you're going to use Discord, number one, mute the Facebook feed and get you a pair of earbud headphones or a pair of regular headphones, because that will completely cut out the feedback. And if you're using a mobile device, I absolutely recommend you get headphones, because without a set of headphones, that feedback is crazy. So, for those of you that watch our programs pre-recorded, huh? Whoop. Nothing. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. So, for those of you that watch our pre-recorded broadcast, if you have something to add, absolutely, by all means. Put it in the chat area if you're watching it in YouTube. Let's see, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter, Pinterest, Flickr. Ah, hell, we're all over the place. Paganspace.net, wherever you're watching our uploads. Put your comments in. Put your comments in the chat. One of us will see them within 24 hours. We do ask that you give 24 hours for us to check our messages and what have you. But there are a boatload of reasons why people leave their family religion. It could be because they dealt with abuse at the hands of a particular religion while they were growing up. I won't say any names. But it could be because there was oppression at home. It could be because it just didn't sing to them It just didn't feel right. I mean, we've had people that were raised in a pagan home, and they went through, I mean, they grew up in a pagan home. And they decided in their later years that Christianity was for them, was the way for them to go. And those people that I've known that have done that actually become very open-minded, educated, well-learned Christian philosophers. And good people. We've had people, of course, come from Christianity to paganism, be in paganism for several years, go through training, go through a path, become very knowledgeable within their path, and they wake up one morning and they feel like they're lost, so they trip the lights fantastic back over to the Christian philosophy, and they're there for a year or so and they come back. Well, then we have those who go in and out and in and out and in and out of paganism, atheism, Christianity, back to paganism, back to Christianity, back to atheism, or back and forth from Christianity to paganism. And then we have those that say they're Christian pagan. Well, you're not even going to get me started on that one this morning. If you're going to follow a religion, understand the definition of the religion, what it means, what it stands for, and how it works. And you know, in House of Pagans and in Open Pagan Church, since their inception, the only thing we have ever asked of people is respect. Share your wisdom, your knowledge, your education. Opinions are fine. But at the end of the day, opinions are like butts. Everybody's got one. So I'm trying to figure out, and I need a little input from you guys, where else can we go with the topic of why did you leave Christianity? I mean, the biggest thing is people need to understand that religion is personal. Whether you're going to study the Oriental philosophies, the Middle Eastern philosophies, whether you're going to study the Western Christianic, the Roman Catholic, the global pagan ideologies, which there are thousands of them around the globe. What are your thoughts? Anybody?
Well, like you said, Christianity is one's belief, but it cannot be forced on us, which a lot of people do. A lot of them do. They try and force it on you. People walking around the block the other day come in, and I told them I was pagan anyway. I won't mention the religion, but they still tried to pray for me right on my doorstep. And it's like, okay, I have my belief, you have your belief. Let's leave it at that.
You know, anybody that had been around us for any length of time, almost, Dave, almost.
How's that?
That is a little better. Let me see if I can turn up your gain just a little bit. All right, Dave, try it now if you would, sir.
I'm turning my gain up. I need to probably go and turn my microphone volume up a little bit more. Turn it down. it was a discord problem. I quit the church in 1977 when I was 18 years old, and I didn't have to go anymore. When I went into the Air Force in 1981, I put down no religious preference, and it's still no religious preference at the VA today. And, I think that for me, I'm not cutting anybody down, but you go to church and you look at everything going on, it's such a narrow view of everything. And it's like putting God in a box. Oh, let's take God out of the box for an hour. Oh, let's put him back in. We got to go home now. But they think that that's the only place that there's God is when you go to a building, and it's mind blowing when everybody has the same connection to the elements if they just open their eyes. And the Creator is in every atom of everything. So it's so simple. It's to me it's retarded. To me, it's retarded for me to go and to sit there and listen to some preacher who's going to use the congregation as a mirror so they can validate actually what he's actually teaching them. It's twisted. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I don't like going to church.
Well, I mean, I absolutely get your point. And I'd like to expound on it for a bit. By the way, whatever mic you're using, your settings are perfect. Leave them alone. You're sounding good.
I'm using a Shure SM7B dynamic microphone with an interface and a cloud mic.
Well, whatever settings they're on, leave them alone. They're perfect.
Okay, whatever melts my butter.
So, to expound on what you're talking about, I get it. I do. But let's think about something. If we look at the history of the human being, a bunch of humans want to be sheep. And I have to say, in all honesty, that's not a bad thing as long as you're not following somebody into a fire pit or into a meat grinder. But having been in the pagan community, and I know you've been around for a long time, so have most of the guys in Discord and in chat, you see where there are leaders, there are followers, there are those who trip over their own 2 feet trying to get out of the way. There are those followers who could be leaders, but they're too scared. There are those leaders that should be followers, but they're too stuck up their own butts to see it. But if we talk about direction, right, there are people that are so confused right now, and there always have been, but people like yourself and like me, and I know Nicole and Clint and Cindy and Debbie over in the chat area, and yourself, and a lot of people that are watching, they're going to completely agree with that. Take God out of the box. Take the goddess out of the box. Because the gods and goddesses, I mean, Mother Earth, well, she's Mother Earth, she's pretty damn big. No one person, and I've always been one of the first ones as a pagan minister to stand up and say this, no one person has all the answers. I don't. I damn sure don't. That's the reason I like input. When we're doing our broadcast, we're trying to be a place where people can express their opinion respectfully, share their wisdom and knowledge in a conventional way as possible. But people, human beings as a whole, when you get a bunch of them together, you get this cattle mentality. And all you have to do is holler boo, and then you've got a stampede mentality where you see all of the time where people have gotten trampled by other people who don't care enough to reach down and pick them up when they're running away from whatever it is they're running away from. But I completely agree. We need, when it comes to carrying ourselves within a spiritual architecture, within a religious philosophy, if you will, we need to remember that we're not the only ones. And of course, pre-internet, okay, and I'll give credit its due. Pre-internet, and let's step back a little further, pre-television, and we can go back a little further than that, pre-radio. With the advent of the radio, the communication basis of the planet started becoming a little smaller. With the radio news, we started knowing what's going on faster on the other side of the planet. And then of course came television. Well, we all know that blew up because everybody wanted breaking news live on channel 13 or whatever. And you would see these live videos from somewhere on the planet. Well, of course, with the advent of the internet and all of our social networks such as Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and 1,000 others, we see it now. Live feeds happen all day, every day on Facebook, YouTube, and the like. But we also have to be careful, and this is a message really for the younger generation that's coming up. We have to be careful what we're watching and what we think we see, what we think we hear coming out of people's mouths on the internet. Because having a degree in, it's called digital forensics, but essentially internet safety, internet security, and home network security, I study a lot on the different aspects of internet security. And ladies and gentlemen, just because you see it real time on the internet doesn't always mean that the words that are coming out of that person's mouth are the actual words that are coming out of their mouth. So it goes the same thing with religious philosophies. I can just imagine some of the things that have been done to some of my videos over the years, and I've been doing this a very long time. I can just imagine some of the things that have been done to some of my videos. That's alright, I don't care, because I know what I said, and I keep an original copy of what I said on my servers. So if there's ever any question of the words that are coming out of my mouth, well, you just let me know, and I will happily send you the original copy. Yeah, sounding kind of Texan today, I guess. But let me ask you this. As a pagan, what can we do to make things easier on the younger generation that come to us with questions, that are seeking answers? What can we do to better help the younger generation? Anybody?
Um, I just sorry, I just put my teeth in, and my powder is cementing as we speak. But I think that what people don't, I think people need to they point out to the younger generation is that religion, the church is teaching you to think in their paradigm, to give you a small paradigm, but yet you think that your way is the only way, and the whole creator of the universe fits inside the church's paradigm that they make you have. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have enough like logic to figure out that the creator of the universe is way bigger than their little paradigm of, oh, this is a cookie, this is my way, you got to be this way. Oh, and that's the fault of the church to teach people this. So I think that children need to know that they're going to give you a small paradigm, and they need to have a big paradigm, because the creator of the universe is way bigger than any paradigm they're ever going to have, and that the church gives you a narrow paradigm to look at everything. So you put the creator of the universe inside this little box. And they need to understand that so they can get an understanding if that's what they want. But they need to get that might give them a little thing to take away what they need from the church, and then they have an open mind about other stuff. You know, or there's towards just bowing down.
But is there a more positive way to look at it? I mean, it's real easy for us to say what the Christian church is doing wrong. But what can we say the pagan, I hesitate to use the term pagan churches, but the pagan way, the pagan ideology, what can we say to the younger people that are questioning it? What can we say to them in a more positive, in a more positive aspect that give them support for the pagan philosophy?
That you just need to have a wide open view of the creator, because we can't even fathom what the creator is. So you need to have a wide open view of the creator. Have a wide open view and take what you need to take from things that you want to learn or learn.
I know he said that. Like I tell the young people that come to me, you can read all you want, you can learn all you want, ask questions. Don't take it for granted. Learn.
What if they don't know the questions to ask?
Then you point them in certain books or websites to let them learn about the paganism that our group follows.
Well, I tell people I've got two versions. I've got the 10-second version, what is paganism? And then I've got the several hour dissertation as to what is paganism. Most of the time, thankful to the gods, they go for the 10-second version.
Which is?
Paganism simplistically is the belief of polytheistic religions, i.e., there is the possibility of multiple gods and goddesses, multiple androgynous beings that are neither male nor female, but rough in the masculine and feminine. So paganism is polytheistic, where Christianity is monotheistic. Bang. End of what paganism is. Everything else is path specific. What do you think?
Agreed. But I got a question on that. I know we're kind of veering off the subject, kind of. But if Christianity is mono. They believe in one God. But then the other people like Mary and Joseph and all those angels, is that not poly too?
No, because angels are not deities. Now, me and a couple of Catholic priests got into this conversation. A saint is not considered a deity. Angels are not considered deities. To the Christian church, they have a God, a single God, and they have a Savior, which was Jesus that died on the cross for their sins. Some could split the atom and say, but you say Jesus is Lord. But then you say Lord our God. And then you say there's only one God, and the only way to that God is through Jesus. And then the Catholics say the only way to Jesus, our God, is through me, through confession.
Okay, that's why I left Christianity.
Yeah, it kind of makes my head spin, but okay, I get it. Paganism, the way to, as Dave would say, the creator, as I would say to the gods and goddesses, as whoever would say whatever.
The gods, the goddesses, but I say creators, so people.
Right. Yeah, I get it. But it's it's semantics, all right? But it still all means the same thing. And I've always told people the way to the gods is within you. It's damn sure not within me. I'm just a teacher. I can give you the book, and I can kind of sort of help you understand the book, or the web page, or the document, or the whatever. But at the end of the day, it's got to come down on you to see or understand where it's coming from.
Well, that's all, going inside.
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody has to find out who, or figure out who they are. Everybody has to try to figure out where they're from. And everybody has to try to figure out where they're going. But, so, we're 18 minutes past the hour, and a lot of my websites only let me upload directly a 1-hour video. So let's kind of wind it down a little bit. First off, I want to remind everybody that the non-expiring link for Discord, if you want to join in, is in the description area. We are all over the internet, Open Pagan Church. We even have a Google site, believe it or not, Open Pagan Church. And at 11 a.m. Central Time, we'll be in live with the shaman. But in closing, let's think about this. If we know, or we think we know, what we truly believe, then we should go for it. Don't let me or anybody else in our platforms or anybody else in our text chat tell you you're wrong. We can disagree with you, but just because we disagree with you doesn't mean we're telling you you're wrong. I am perfectly fine with people disagreeing with me. If somebody's going to tell me you're wrong, I want to know why. But because you leave a particular religion, or even if you flip-flop like pancakes or a fish out of water from religion to religion, that's up to you. At the end of the day, you've got to do what's right for you, religiously speaking, spiritually speaking. So when you're looking for that path, and you're looking for that mojo, if you will, that guides you, look within yourself, look at the world around you, seek out the answers to your questions. No one person ever has all the right answers. Wishing you well. Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you next week right here on Open Pagan Church. Have a great day and have a good week.